Humidor Shop Talk. Humidor Shop Talk. Get ready. Humidor Shop Talk. Get ready. Humidor Shop Talk. Sports. Humidor Shop Talk. Cigars. Humidor Shop Talk. Get ready. Humidor Shop Talk. Get ready. Humidor Shop Talk.
Welcome to another episode of Humidor Sports and Cigars. We were out last week. Of course, a little quick vacation we took. Shout out to Misty Blue and great trip to Milwaukee that we just endeared on. But we are back this week, and we got a whole lot to talk about, so we're going to jump into it pretty quick. But first, let me bring the fellas in. And let's bring in first the DJ. That's my DJ, DJ DY Nemesis.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Top of the morning to you. Glad to be back again here on Humidor Shop Talk, Sports Talk. Lot to get at today, so let's go ahead and get after it.
For sure. And of course, one of my usual suspects, KDL 33. Back with the building with us today.
What is happening, good people? What is happening? How y'all doing this morning? Hey, I piggyback off Lucky. Shout out to Misty Blue, great Milwaukee trip. We will be back. Shout out to the people that took care of us in Milwaukee, including the boat. But we are back, ready to talk some sports. Let's get it.
Man, we got a whole lot to talk about, man. Shout out to Mr. SmokeFellas himself, Ben, and of course the Angry Man. They couldn't be with us today, but they'll be back next week. And they just may chime in. They just may get a second to jump in and get down with what, some of the topics we're going to go over today. So let's go local. Let's just kick it off. Let's just get right into it because, man, the White Sox not only having a bad year, but this past week has been horrible, absolutely horrible. And us three, we Sox fans, man, Southside, you know how we roll. And, of course, our producer, Sean, man, it hurts our heart. But we got to go in on them, man. Rick Hahn, Kenny Williams fired, like the house cleaning has begun. They on pace to lose 100 games, another disappointing season. And then Jerry comes out with all this, nice talk about the coach in the locker room. And then on top of that, they mentioned something about possible selling the team and moving to Nashville, which I think was horrible timing, by the way. And then, of course, the debacle last night with the shooting. So before we dive into it, Sean got a clip he's going to play for us, and then we're going to jump into it there. Sean, play that clip for us.
It was 2022 where the White Sox were kind of trembling or kind of treading water, trying to fight back against Cleveland when Cleveland had made their run. And I think they had won 5 in a row. They beat Houston. And there's that puffy-chested Kenny on the field because they're feeling good about themselves. All of a sudden, they're 62-58. And all of a sudden, oh, here we come, the super talented White Sox. And I get a call from our old friend David Kaplan who somebody wants to talk to me. And it's Kenny Williams on the phone cussing me out. And he says, I just want to let you know that I'm still effing here. And if I'm in control, so just in case you have any questions, I'm still effing here. First of all, I have no idea where it came out, but that's a true story. And I don't give a damn. I've been holding that one for a while. There's no reason for me to go public with that one at all. I protect it.
I taught you
that. That's a peek behind the curtain. Yeah, I can't do it. But 2 people are out of a job today. He's out of a job. That's what I'm talking about. How the hell am I even worth the phone call? You are so into it, up in the weeds about what people might be saying when things aren't going right. We're not personal. We're being fair. That's what you guys, every night
you
you
talk
guys.
Fat and true. You can say whatever you want.
When they were 93 and 69, what were we doing? Popping champagne, hugging each other, champs. But when you are massively a failure and it equals this, you're going to lose 100 games.
So, fellas, let's dive into it. DY, go and kick it off.
You saw the writing on the wall when the whole 2 years ago or 2.5 years ago, when they hired a manager who was well past his time of managing, and that team was really, really good. Didn't expect for the team to fall so dramatically, but at the same time, it just kind of speaks to the culture, the White Sox culture. Jerry Reinsdorf loves baseball more than he does basketball. He's made that known throughout the years. But one thing I think he has more of a love for is the fans that fill those seats, that pay for that stadium to get built, that continue to pay, um, put money in his pocket. We don't have the revenue stream that the Cubs have, but nevertheless, the White Sox make money every single year. Reinsdorf doesn't care about a winning team. He cares about a team that can pack seats and he can take care of his friends and old teammates or old buddies and pals, and the power and control that he has throughout MLB, being one of the top seniority cats as far as owners are concerned. So kind of saw this coming from far away, but unfortunately, what has been bad has gotten a lot worse.
Well, let me ask this, Kev. I'll let you jump in. Did we know it was that bad internally within the Sox organization, the locker room, the front office, these things going on behind the scenes? Do we have any idea? Kevo?
No, we didn't know it was that bad. But when things go south and the organization just loses year after year, you got to know it's some behind the scenes stuff going on that's eventually going to come out. The mere fact that we hear now that all of a sudden people were sleeping in the dugout, anything was going on, the pitchers that left are saying, hey, it's bad over there, right? But we'll never know that until it hits rock bottom. And now it's rock bottom. You blew up the team at the trade deadline. DY hit it on the head. You technically have an owner, man, that loves baseball. He'll get rid of the Bulls before he get rid of the Sox. But he's mentioning getting rid of the Sox because he's trying to get a new stadium. Hey, Reinsdorf, they're not getting you a new stadium, brother, because you don't give a damn. If you cared about winning and championships, not just filling seats, making money, and everybody have a good time, if you really cared about winning, maybe the city, they won't. But maybe the city would have considered it. So you throwing out there, you leaving, they're going to let you leave. And it's going to be sad for everybody that grew up. Like my grandfather used to take me to White Sox games, right? Well, I'm White Sox over Cubs simply because of that. But you know what the Cubs did to their credit? They blew it up. They brought in a general manager. They went for winning. They're at least trying to win. You get the sense. I'm not, you might not like the Cubs, whatever, but they did it the right way. They blew it up. The Sox are we're going to give you a team last year where we could beat everybody in the division. But when it comes to the big teams, we ain't got no chance in hell. But it felt good because they were winning. Felt good, looked good, but we knew they weren't going nowhere. So it's just like putting a team in the stands where you can have a good time and you can say, well, at least we 500. You on pace to lose 100 games. 100. Come on, man. So, like I said, everything is blowing up now. The reporters are snapping. The players are, man, it's a mess, man. It's a mess.
And and the sad part, man, it is some talent over there, man. That's the thing. It's not like, to me, it's not lack of talent. I mean, they in some areas, of course, but Luis Roberts, Eloy, Moncada, they got some guys over there. It's just the underachieving. To me, it went left when they brought LaRusso in. With that, I'm with DY 100% on that. Like bringing him in with that young team at that time, and I don't know if that was a Hahn move or if that was Reinsdorf and Kenny Williams kind of forced that on him. But of course, now he paid for it because he's out of there. But to me, I don't even understand what they want the new stadium and all that, because they seems like they gimmicky now just to get people to come out. House music night. Last night's supposed to be the Vanilla Ice concert. You got all these different themes to get people to come out. And to me, that's when, it's now it's not about on-field play. It's about, just like you say, put people in the stands, make it fun for everybody to come out and party and watch with that Greek night, all these different nights that you really don't see too many other stadiums have. And I know Sean's a big White Sox fan, man. So Sean, like jump in and, tell us how you feel about it. We've been seeing you on your show throughout the week. So I know you got some strong feelings about what's going on.
Gentlemen, good morning. Yeah, I do have some strong feelings. That they're, I'm a White Sox fan through and through, and it's time. He's not going to sell the team, but he needs to sell it. That's what we're all clamoring for. This is ridiculous. Kenny Williams is as you heard saw in that first clip. Kenny Williams was still running things. All right, why would you hide stuff like that? Why would you promote him? And so basically, Rick Hahn was just the PR guy. He was the highest paid PR guy I can imagine. All right, everything that happened was Kenny, and it's unfortunate. And Ozzy said in one of the clips, you gotta know who you're dealing with. Like, you gotta find out. You're giving these guys extensions. Okay, it's in theory it sounds good. All right, giving those guys long-term extensions before they did anything, but you got to understand who they are. And that's what one of the things he said. I'm frustrated with this organization. I'm thoroughly pissed. And I only went to the game last night because of the concert. All right, and I was still home. I was still in Orland when that happened. And I drove all the way down there, and I get to the end of the game, and it was crazy. They didn't inform their workers because they had people coming out in the field getting ready to set up the stage, and then they made the announcement. It's a shit show.
And they said technical difficulty. They didn't really say what happened.
Yeah,
the game was still going on. It's an article. I want to say Fox News Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
The game this happened in the outfield about the seventh inning. The game was still going on.
No, it happened in the
they
third
didn't
inning.
announce the concert until it was supposed to be happening, and then they said technical difficulties. They had to cancel. People really didn't know what happened.
It happened in the third inning. I thought it was the seventh. The lady who got shot was friends with my people, the people that I met up there, and her husband was like, he told her, "When we got to go, something happened, we got to go." So I know someone who actually. Like my people that was their friend, the 42-year-old lady who got shot in the leg. So it was, and then one of my, a good friend of mine was in the section, and it happened. She said it happened right behind her. So it was a shit show. What this organization has done, they're cowards. All right, canceling Sox Fest last year. They had no plans for Sox Fest this year. Why? Because of the vitriol and all the strong feelings that Sox fans they're going to let them know about. And they don't want to hear it. They don't want to deal with it. All right. So now they may have Sox Fest again because now you got a new GM coming in who might be Chris Getz. But why would you bring in a guy inside? That's what I don't understand. Like Chris Getz, can you name me besides Tim Anderson and Louis Robert? Who have they developed? See, who have they drafted?
And besides that, he's just a scout.
And he was part of the entire minor league system. Who have they developed? Who have they drafted, developed, come to the big leagues, and done well? I mean, you want to say Andrew Vaughn? Andrew Vaughn's doing okay. I wouldn't say he's doing great. The only thing I can give him is TA, but now TA is unraveling. He's got some stuff. And Louis Robert, you signed him, in international signing period. Okay, and you developed him. Okay, fine. But who else have they developed? So you're going to bring the guy who's in charge of your minor league system and developing those guys as your general manager? First of all, can you acquire talent? That's for starters. Can you acquire talent? And secondly, can you develop it? It's Kenny was the dude. Kenny was behind the Jake Berger trade. I was pissed when they traded Berger. Because I didn't think I thought it was shady to begin with. Because think about it. If Rick Hahn acquired all these guys, why would he want to let those guys, especially Berger? Berger, remember, he had he's a first round pick. He had 2 torn Achilles.
Yep.
Torn Achilles, and he was rehabbing. He tore it again. So he literally didn't play for 2 years. Comes back. He's having a great year for the White Sox. One of the more exciting guys. He's just having fun, knocking the ball all over the park, out of the park, and then you trade him? your own guy that you drafted and developed? That didn't make sense.
So my question would be this then, Sean. If Hahn was technically the general manager, Kenny had a made-up position that was over him, but Kenny was running things, right? And that's basically what dude said in the clip when he came to him. I'm still here. In other words, I'm still the dude. I still run it. Mm-hmm. So then there was dysfunction right there because you really don't have a general manager.
No, you do. He's the man behind the curtain.
Kenny was running.
Yeah, that's Kenny. So you gave the title of general manager to Rick Hahn just as a facade, just as a red herring to throw people off. Like, okay, this is the guy making all the moves. And because if you now it makes more sense. If you ever notice, Rick Hahn never said, "Hey, I decided to make this move." It's always we decided. It was a team effort. The organization decided. We decided. Mm-hmm. We always. If you're the general manager, you don't need to talk to anybody else in the organization. It's you. It's your job.
That's right.
It's your job.
Right. You the dude.
Yeah, you're that dude. But he kept in all those years. He kept saying, "We did this, we did that as an organization, as an organization." And I'm thinking, okay, he's just being humble. Okay, fine. He wasn't being humble. He would say, "Yeah, it was somebody else." So it's the fact that they canceled Sox Fest, the fact that they can't get a manager, and Rick Hahn's to blame too. Now, if he's the one who chose this manager, if he chose Grifol, then he's to blame too. But if Kenny chose him, then okay, I understand. But they got a puppet. Obviously, they didn't want Ozzy because Ozzy's going to tell him to go F yourself because you're not making a lineup. I am. You're not.
Ozzy was never coming back.
No. That was just a sham. And then you have a chance. You had a chance to get Ozzy. You interviewed him. It was a sham. You didn't interview Bruce Bochy. What's he doing in Texas? First in the AL West. Didn't interview Joe Girardi. He's across town in the Marquee Network. Didn't
announced.
You didn't.
Right.
And you didn't.
Man, sits the man right in the city announcing.
And all these guys were available, and you didn't go after them. You don't go after a world championship manager.
They're gonna go after him now. Do y'all believe? Let me ask you this. Now, somebody threw out Epstein. I don't think Epstein will come back to this mess.
No.
But if you go out and get a general manager, he's gonna want his own manager, right? I'm not saying Girardi is all that, but he's right up north announcing.
Yeah,
he's
but when you talk
general manager, bro, you're not getting another general manager.
But when you talk the culture, those culture issues and things going on there, you got to bring in a president of operations. You got to bring somebody in over it before anything. To me, like let the new president come in and let them hire the general manager. This thing got to be stripped completely down the way the Blackhawks did, the way the Cubs did, the way we're seeing how the Bears are doing now. Mm-hmm. This thing, it can't just be let's bring in a new GM to fix this shit show, right? Like it's way deeper. It's a lot of internal. Like it gotta be.
You gotta blow it up.
It gotta be one place of power. Like this is the cat who calls the shots, and let him bring in his people. It can't be, just like we went through with the Bears when Mike McCaskey and Ted Phillips and all these cats had say so, constantly digging in. You see now, I think we're gonna see a difference because, like Ryan Poles, like Harden and Poles, like Poles has complete control of this thing.
Yep.
So and that's what it changed. Yeah.
Right. And you don't hear nobody else but Poles.
Exactly. It's like his show. Yeah. So the Sox, all the Sox got to do is look right within their city, and kind of that's the blueprint. They got to strip that thing down, especially with everything that's out there right now. That's ridiculous.
But does the stripping start with ownership? And I don't think because the kids don't want the team, so it's not like a scenario where with the Blackhawks, where Rocky took over and he kind of changed the whole culture and everything with the Blackhawks and created a winning culture, put them back on TV and everything. Michael Reinsdorf wants no part. If anything, Michael would run the Bulls before he would run the White Sox. He knows that's his dad's. That's his dad's heart. So if Reinsdorf does not sell that team, how do you get the culture to change?
Well,
he's not ready to sell it though, bro. He will.
But I think, but even as an owner, like all Jerry and them have to do is just step away. Like let the president operations run it. Just sit back. Don't talk. Don't get on the microphone. Just be an owner. That's it. Like stay out of any baseball decisions. Right.
The White Sox paid $275 million last year.
Yeah.
$275 million.
Jerry is sitting in his luxurious house in Arizona, making calls and running the team. Like that's what he's doing. You don't see him at White Sox party. Man is in Arizona. I can tell you, Paradise Valley, sitting there running the team, and it had to get to a point. Now y'all got to think about this. Y'all know Kenny is man, so it had to get out of control to the point. You know what? I'm done. Y'all got to go. You hired Hahn. Take him with you. Like I'm done.
Yeah, but to me,
Jerry,
Hahn was
half of this is your fault. You let it get to this point. You let Kenny run everything for years. You let it get to this point.
If it was Kenny making all those moves and not Rick Hahn,
yeah, right.
But
Hahn had to go because Kenny hired him.
So McCarthyism. That's your boy. He go with you.
But isn't it the same? It's the same thing with the Bulls with Paxson. They moved him up. You know what I mean? They call themselves moving, and we know he was still calling the shots. He did the same thing with Kenny. I don't know, like they loyalty to certain people is amazing. Like that's one thing against Jerry. Yeah, it's crazy.
That's what I'm saying. Kenny was his man. So if he got to the point where he ready to fire Kenny,
yeah, it got that point. But you just got to get somebody who can run stuff. You got to get a baseball guy who can run it. Look at the Bears. How many years were we saying they got to sell? They got to sell. They're horrible. There's nobody in the family who took after the family business. No one's a scout. No one's a coach. No one's a nothing. They just want.
They don't want it.
They don't want. So what do? They brought in a football guy. Now you ain't talking about the family no more. We ain't talking about the family. We're talking about building something up. All right, we're talking about building something up with the White Sox because they got a football guy in there. You need a baseball guy in there. And
I'll take one. Yeah, but who do you? So let me ask y'all this: as far as GMs, right? Now, Sean, maybe you know this more than me, but as far as GMs, you searching for GMs. Let's say the top GMs throughout the league, somebody that's out there, whatever, right? So who would you bring in? And then, and like the money, it ain't necessarily about the GM. You got to bring in, you got to start. Let's get it in order, like a president of operations, director of operations, whatever they call it. Then a GM, then a manager, like blow it up, like get it right, so you have a functional organization. Anytime it start getting out here, man, with players doing what they want to do in the dugout, and they come on, man. Now it's out of
control on the locker room.
Yeah, it's out of control.
They wilding out. They wilding out on third field.
Players got baby mamas doing Instagram. Like, come on, man. The man at bat, you doing a live video. Like, what we do? It's out of control, man.
They ain't the Chicago White Sox no more. They the South Side Sox for real.
Well, man, I'm pretty sure some more stuff gonna come out, and we're gonna talk a little more White Sox over the upcoming weeks. But of course, as we know, the Chicago Bears, our own Chicago Bears, and we're not gonna dive into them yet. But at noon, the game will be on. Man, maybe we'll get some little live commentary because a lot of the starters supposed to play today on both sides, Buffalo and for the Bears.
Yeah, I think everybody played today.
And we'll go into football from there. But before, let's talk a little NBA because, while we were on vacation, there was some tomfoolery going on. And I know Kev been waiting for this one for a while. We've been chopping it up about it for a couple of weeks. But James Harden hurt my heart, man, because that's my left-hand kinfolk. All lefties related to me. But James Harden is James Hardening again. We are. I'm pretty sure people know the story by now for the last couple of weeks. He hardening again. He's just doing what he do. And now he wants out. He went on some public platform and called Daryl Morey a liar. He'll never play for the organization again. He's demanding the trade. Now he wants to go to the Clippers. Well, this the third time in 4 years that he's demanding a trade. and he wants, and he wants to go where he wants to go. He wants to go where he wants to go. So, Kev, you've been waiting for it. I know you've been itching for it, so I'm gonna let you dive into it.
History lesson. History lesson. Real quick. This is the same dude that got traded from OKC. He wanted to be the man. And then he went down to Houston and promptly fired Kevin McHale, got rid of Dwight Howard, got rid of Russell Westbrook. Got rid of Chris Paul first. Then he got rid of Russell Westbrook, got rid of Carmelo Anthony. Then he goes to first of all, didn't show up in the playoffs, by the way. Paid him a lot of money down there. Real quick. Then he goes to the Brooklyn Nets. That's a dream team. They're going to do their thing. Kyrie Irving decides not to get the vaccination. He wants out immediately. Literally quits on the team. Then they trade him to Philly. Say he always wanted to be in Philly. Words out his mouth. Mm-hmm. Always wanted to be in Philly with his man Morey. 2 years later, now all of a sudden Morey is a liar. He doesn't want to play in the organization that he's in. Now he wants to go to the Clippers. If you're the Los Angeles Clippers, why the hell would you want James Harden? Let's ask ourselves. I challenge y'all to think. Since he's been saying he wanted to go to the Clippers, have you heard anybody, general manager, owner, players, have you had anybody say, oh, we'd love to have James Harden. Yeah, make that happen. Anybody say that? Of course not. Dude is a cancer. He's made a lot of money. He's made over $300 million, to be honest with you. So the boy ain't broke. But he's a cancer. And if I'm Joel Embiid, if I'm Nick Nurse, hell, if I'm Daryl Morey at this point, hey, dude, you're either going to show up and be a professional or you're going to sit home this year. See how that does your value. You got to eat the money because he's guaranteed to $35 million. So either way, you got to eat it. But what he's not going to do is come in this locker room and technically by paper, we're a top 3, maybe top 4 team in the East with a new coach, with the MVP. You're not gonna do that, dog. You're not gonna be a distraction all year. So if it was me, I would bring him in. We would have a conversation. He ain't with it. Go home. Somebody wants you to find a trade. We'll holler back. Meanwhile, goodbye. That's how they should handle it. Let him be a free agent next year. Let's see who won't. Dude is a cancer.
Yeah, but the problem is going to be, and D.Y., you can jump in here. The problem is going to be, how if they try to force him to stay there and play, is he going to pull another act like he did in Houston, where he loafing around and throwing the ball and kind of just blowing, right? Then you have to send him home. But
then they do that to Ben Simmons when he was practicing with a cell phone hanging out of his pocket.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
That's how you got to treat him.
But that's how you got to treat him. Yeah, so the issue is going to be, do you want that around, especially with Embiid a little shaky over there right now? He taking down his stuff off his social media, off the six and stuff. So D.Y. gonna dive in there.
You got to look at the end game here, and you kind of question Harden's motives and what is it that you really essentially want, or where is it that you essentially want to go? This is not a scenario where you can have your cake and eat it too. You're not an owner, so you can't put together your own team. So at the end of the day, are you going to sit there and continue to pound and complain about things not going the way that you want them to go? Or are you going to be a man and go out there and go play basketball? Okay, we get to the scenario where the two entities' relationship is frayed and cannot be put back together again. Okay, fine, accept that. Harden opted in to his deal, which spells for me that he has very few options of places where he could go.
Facts.
So at the end of the day, it could turn into a Ben Simmons type situation. I don't fancy Harden being that stubborn and immature and acting that young. But at the end of the day, like Kevo said, is he going to go out there and give you 110% every single night? Or is it going to be some nights where he's on, some nights where he's off, and whatever he's going to give the team? I think once that determination is made, you can realize whether you can trade him or drop him.
You know what? You know what? You know what's funny about this? I saw the Bulls, the 97, 98, the most dysfunctional team ever because Scotty wanted another contract, right?
Yeah, a lot going on there, yeah.
I saw a lot. Dennis Rodman, a lot. So then I saw they don't say nothing to the general manager. They can't stand him. Mike, Scotty, they don't say nothing to him, right? But then I see them go out and ball and win back-to-back championships, 97 and 98. So if you good with your teammates, like everybody had Scotty back. Scotty was wild. We could talk about that, but we will not. Scotty was wild, had surgery when the season started instead of it, right? All that. Spiking the organization. But on that basketball court, it was about winning. And they went out and won. As much dysfunction we grew up watching this, they won. They didn't get along with their general manager. So Harden can technically do the same thing, right? You chose to take less money last year. He might have promised you money or whatever. Yeah, okay, whatever. That's between y'all. That's your man. But Joel Embiid is coming off an MVP season. Tyrese Maxey is coming to his own. Hell, if you get out the way, he can really come into his own.
Yeah.
But they're trying to win a championship. You got a championship coach in Nick Nurse. You might not fit him one of the top coaches in the league, but he got a championship on his belt. James Harden ain't got a championship. Embiid ain't got a championship. So they're trying to win, bro. So you can just ignore the general manager because, dummy, you have to play this year in the last year of your contract so you can get a contract next year.
Right.
You can't come into camp rebelling because no one is going to want you nor pay you. You're 35 years old. So it would behoove you to come into camp, ignore the general manager, do what you got to do. Buy in, play your ass off so that you can get a contract next year. If you come in with that rebellious and they send you home, you done next year, bro. You done. Mm-hmm. So the choice is really his.
Yeah, because he's definitely he's sliding down that slippery slope. Like it's one thing to maybe pull it once, but when you start talking 3 times and like you're gonna take your ball and run home every time, and I'm with you, Kev. Every time about the Clippers thing and what's the name? Ballmer, what's the owner name? Ain't nobody said a word. Ty Lue, ain't nothing. They looking
George, none of them.
And why would you want to go to that shit show with Kawhi Leonard over there? They trying to trade Paul George. They got a lot going on themselves anyway. But
Westbrook's man, they said nothing.
Right. Yeah. Who would you want him in your locker room? Would you want him in his locker? I wouldn't. I definitely wouldn't want to play with him. You know what I mean? Not dependable. Pouts. You don't know if he's gonna come in like he been eating gyro cheeseburgers all summer. You don't know how he gonna act. And then so he don't go his way, he's
gonna start a rapper party or a strip club.
Right. So just the dependability on Harden, and it's a shame, man, for somebody like he could really be a mega star, if he could just get it together.
Dude,
I think he's in a great situation in Philly with Embiid, man. I think he's in a great situation there.
You don't get it, he's being selfish.
I mean, I guess they got a little bit of a championship window, like it's cracked. It's not shut, but it's not open either. It's just like enough to get a little breeze up in there.
Okay. Hold on. Let's talk about it. Top of the East.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Miami, they lost a couple players. They ain't got Dame yet. Boston, Porzingis just got hurt. He just got there.
Well, that's not surprising.
I'm just saying. Here's your window. Philadelphia, right. Bringing back basically the same team. Milwaukee, Giannis, to me, now y'all take this how y'all want. He questioning his teammates. Hey man, y'all down? Because I ain't gonna sign this extension.
He got every right to do it.
Right.
Well, he does, but I'm saying it ain't 100%. My point is, Philly got a shot. Like they're one of the top teams in the East. And for him to come in acting like this, bro, I swear to God, I would send him home. I
don't think Philly got enough tools to go deep into the playoffs. I think they're good first or second round team, but they don't have enough. Even with Embiid playing at the MVP level last year, and the emergence of Maxey and even James Harden kind of stepping up a little bit in the playoffs, just a little bit. I still don't think this team is built for a championship run. They don't have the depth. Their coaching is suspect at best.
But I'm saying because of the other teams, it's not a guarantee Miami is going back. It's not a guarantee Boston is going to be there. They lost Marcus Smart. That's huge to me. It's not. I'm saying coming into this year, Philly is basically bringing the same team back. They got cohesion. If James Harden come to ball and be like, you know what, y'all right. I got to get a contract next year. Let me come in here and ball. Let me just ignore Morey and let me come in here and ball. Like they got a legitimate. I'm not saying they're going to win it. I'm not even saying they're the top team, but I'm just saying they're clearly one of the top 4 teams in the East that got a shot. If he comes in and balls, I swear to God, training camp. Hey dog, don't go to the locker room. Come upstairs. He gonna come upstairs. It's gonna be the owner in there. It's gonna be Morey in there. It's gonna be. I'm gonna leave Embiid out of it. Look at man, what we gonna do? Because we're not even finna start this in training camp. Where you head at, bro?
But here's a great question though, Kev. If you're Phillies management, knowing your superstar is kind of on edge about everything right now, do you even wrestle with James Harden? Do you play the tug of war thing back and forth with him and risk causing so much dysfunction that it's gonna make Embiid want out? Like if you're Phillies management,
that's why you send him home.
Like I think if you can find a trade partner, I mean, I'll trade him for Italian B. I mean, whatever. I would just get him out.
I
would just get him out. I don't care whoever. He would just have to
just saying let him right. But you got to get something for him now. Everybody knows this, and this is football and basketball. You'll never get equal value trading a star or a superstar.
Right.
But they tried to trade him, bro, and they got nothing. So they called it off. Right. So because think about it, the owner gonna be like, "Hey, dude, you can't do no bag of chips. You know how much we gave up to get this dude? You gonna give me something."
Yeah, but sometimes it's addition. It's addition by subtraction. Look at what happened with the Lakers last year. Once they got Westbrook and all that dysfunction out of there, and actually, I mean, when you look at Westbrook's career and what they got for him, it really, you can't say it was equal, but that they were better just with the subtraction, just with him out of there.
Of course.
And it's just, I think it's going to be the same thing in Philly. You just got to get him out. Like don't get into this whole negotiating. It's like, hey, you want him? He yours. What you got? Send it over. I don't care. Send me some bums. Do whatever you got to do. But he got to get up out of here.
So you're just getting him out the locker room.
Yeah, but I mean, you could get some decent rotational players, some bench guys or whatever. But you just got to. But the salary's got to match a course. So you're gonna probably have to you may have to take a bad contract back. But I think you just have to get him out of there.
Some expire.
Thinking more towards the future with Embiid, because to me, even without Harden, with Maxey and Embiid, if you can get some more players around those two, that team can be competing for some years. But if they let this Harden thing tear everything up, it's over with.
That's
Embiid's
why.
going out.
That is why. Before we bounce the ball, the rest of the team could go there and show up and go bounce the ball, get loose. You are coming straight upstairs, bro, before you touch the court. Where you headed, bro?
Right.
Like, I wouldn't even, and I agree with you, I'm not even letting it go there. You're not finna go down here with this new coach and none of that. You're not finna, like you said, eat cheeseburgers and show it when bro, we finna handle this right now. Right now. And then you got to do on Ben Simmons. You got to send him home until we get a trade.
That's all easier said than done. The Ben Simmons things is rather unique. You're not gonna be able to sit Harden. He's just too good of a player to just sit out.
You're not finna disrupt my team either. Not with a new coach.
Even with him sitting on the bench, though, it's going to be some disruption because the media.
Exactly. No, the
media is still going to push. It's still a distraction. It's still going to be a shit show.
You got to eat the money anyway. He's guaranteed $35 million. Nothing you can do about that.
Right.
So,
but like you say, just send him home, send him away from the team. But you got to do something. Like you can't. We've seen when you try to force him to play. We've seen what happened. you saw what he'll do. Now, I think Embiid will whoop his ass if he pulled that in Philly. But that's neither here nor there. But hey, man, we got enough time. Basketball training camp coming up. I'm pretty sure there's gonna be more to this story. All eyes are gonna be on this situation. I want to get into a little more not a little more, but get back to the NFL. Back to the NFL. Our Bears come on in about 7 minutes. Bears Bills live from Soldier Field. It's gonna be we get to see the starters. This is the warm up for the regular season before the big one.
So everybody playing today
against Green Bay. Yep, all the starters that are healthy that are playing. And Buffalo starters are playing too. And it's interesting because I think it's a good test to put your starters up against one of supposedly the best teams in the league. Buffalo is still considered a contender for the Super Bowl. So they going up against Josh Allen. Like they playing the stars, so that's going to be good. But before we dive in more into the Bears, let's talk about the big trade and the shit show that went down in San Francisco with Trey Lance. With Trey Lance, is this Trey Lance thing? And for people who don't know what happened, Trey Lance was number 2 or 3 pick that year, or something like that. He was a quarterback taken right after Trevor Lawrence. They actually traded up to get him, gave up 3 first rounders and a third, something ridiculous. And in his 3rd year, he's traded. The man only played 4 games. They drafted him on potential. They thought Shanahan would be able to take him and groom him and turn him into this great quarterback, his athletic ability. He's supposed to be this great football player who really didn't have a lot of college experience either. And what makes it even worse, you passed up on Justin Fields, even Mac Jones in New England. And I think the worst part about it, they had a Super Bowl window. Garoppolo just took them to the Super Bowl. So I don't even know what the purpose is replacing them with a project. Trying to replace him with a complete project. That was kind of crazy to me. But finally, what happens is they bring it, and then you bring in a veteran, Sam Darnold. You got Brock Purdy, who stepped in last year when Garoppolo and all these guys got hurt, balled out. Of course, he was just started. That knocked Lance down. Then they bring in Sam Darnold. So now, which he lost the number 2 job, put him in number 3. So now we're here, and guess who steps in? The man, Jerry Jones himself, and makes a trade. Trey Lance, now Dallas Cowboy. DY, what's your thoughts?
It's a sad state of affairs because I think we talked about this the last time we was on the show together, the shelf life of a new NFL quarterback. These new quarterbacks are being thrown into the fire typically year 1, and they don't have the opportunity to grow within the organization. It's either you sink or you swim. So I thought Trey Lance had a lot of potential. I watched his highlight reel coming out of college. I really thought he had a lot of potential, and I thought he was going to take over that San Francisco team. The Brock Purdy, and I hate to call it an experiment, but that's like a once in a lifetime type deal where you take a guy who's bagging friggin' groceries and he turns himself into a starting NFL playoff caliber quarterback.
Mr. Irrelevant, baby.
Very, very, very rare that happens. So what's gonna become a trade now that he's in Dallas? I don't think too much more. He'll still hold a clipboard and have on a headset. And, nothing is really going to change in his world. He's going to continue to be the same guy he was in San Francisco, probably with less time.
But you don't think they did right to get him out that situation though? Like you get him out of San Francisco. Because here's the messed up part. Yeah, you drafted him high, you gave up to get him, so it looks ridiculous now that you're done with him, right?
After 2 years.
After 2 years, so it looks ridiculous. That's a mark where they messed up on Lynch now. But then you gave the man, now technically, now I got a bust list, by the way, y'all. I don't know if we're going to have time to get to it, but I got a bust list. The most top 10 bust of all time. I got that. However.
He ain't on that list, is he?
No, I got him honorable mention, but I think it's unfair.
Yeah. You got
hold on. I think it's unfair. I think it's unfair because his story is not finished. So, yes, I was just going by where he was drafted and where he is now. But to San Francisco's credit, and that's another bad move by Lynch now. You had a Garoppolo get you there, and all of a sudden you get rid of him, you bench him, and you put a dude in that clearly wasn't ready at the time. They did give him a starting opportunity. Now, to their credit, they can really say, we gave you a starting opportunity, but he got hurt. Now, that's not his fault. He got hurt. Now you come back this year, and by the time you get back, well, they didn't pick up Sam Darnold. Now, I'm not saying Sam Darnold was all that, but he played a lot more football than Trey Lance.
Yeah, that's true.
So technically, he's better just off that. He just started for 2 other organizations, and he looks good now. You know, for a backup, he looks good now. He's clearly better than Trey Lance. So he was in a losing situation. So what you do, you get now. Yes, he's doing lateral, going to be another 3rd quarterback, but you get him out of that situation. You know what I mean? Because it would think about it, y'all. It would have been a distraction all year if that dude holding the clipboard. He's the number 3 quarterback, and he was drafted that high, and he was the starter. Then he was going to be the starter, and you get him out that predicament. Get him out of there.
I mean, but
let him get fresh life. Let him,
But look, here's the crazy part. They had to know when they drafted him that he was a project. He was going to be about a 2-3 year, work in progress. Similar to what Jordan Love with over there in Green Bay, right? You knew when this guy came in that he wasn't going to be able to come in and light the league up right away.
But Jordan Love that though. They didn't throw Jordan Love. Jordan Love sat.
But yeah, right. Jordan Love actually sat for 3 years. What I'm saying, we knew Trey Lance didn't have the snaps under his belt to come in and be a day 1 starter, even a year 2 starter. I thought he needed about 3 years. I thought they were kind of comfortable with just having Garoppolo and maybe just have him sit behind and then be ready to move on. But for them to even like that you hit on the head, Kev, when the fact that you bring in Sam Darnold, it was no way Trey Lance was going to beat out Sam Darnold in no quarterback competition. So like Bill Barnwell said, they had gave up on him before camp started. Which really is it really fair? All we really saw last year as a starter, he played in the Typhoon game against the Bears, which you can't even judge that game. It was a total mess out there. Then he broke his down. He broke his foot the next week.
Yeah, he got hurt.
You know what I mean? The man.
That ain't his fault. That's really not his fault. But they did, for the record, give him the starting quarterback role. And leading in the season,
they had him in the reins.
Did it. They pulled it. But
right, they had him in the reins. It was his. Now let's look at the flip side. Oh, and by the way, those picks they gave up to move up to get Trey Lance turned into Miami flipped into Tyreek Hill,
Waddle,
Tyreek
Hill,
and I think Nick Chubb too. I think Chubb. All that happened. Like that's crazy, right?
Still heist of the century.
The heist of the century.
But the dude that used to be in San Francisco, remember he was on the staff. The coach from Miami.
Yeah, that's so that's but real quick. Let's look at the other side of this though. Is that move message? Let's look at Cowboy side. Is this a message to Dak? We brought in this young project quarterback. It's almost time to pay Dak again.
No.
That's
you know what?
Talk to me, Kevo. Talk to me. What you say?
Because that's the first thing people would think. Now, dude clearly is not better than Dak Prescott. Now, y'all talk all that about Dak all y'all want, man. He ain't ready. But I think, and it's just me, I think they brought in Trey Lance as the 3rd string quarterback because come trade deadline time, somebody's going to get hurt. It just happens. Jerry Jones is sitting there with a young quarterback that you ain't got to pay right now. He can keep them moving and get something else that Dallas may need right then and there. I think he keeps them moving because think about it. He ain't playing over Cooper Rush. Y'all know that. So you bring him in. He's in the exact same position he was in San Francisco. I can hold this. I'm not gonna call him a gem, but I can hold a young quarterback who got potential that we really don't know how he gonna turn out or whatever. Hell, we don't even know if he's healthy right now. We really don't know. He's coming off. We don't know. So Jerry Jones holds him to the trade deadline. There's a quarterback need situation somewhere. Come trade deadline. Jerry Jones is sitting there with a young cat. I can keep him moving. I might be able to pick up a position I might need right then and there. That's what I think. Because you didn't bring him in to replace Dak Prescott. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. I can see if he was the backup quarterback, you put some pressure on Dak, but not the third string.
Well, I mean, but look, could it be? Because everybody's saying it, and I agree. Like Dak has reached his ceiling. I don't think Dak don't get any better. Dak is Dak at this point, but okay. we don't know what Trey Lance could be.
Okay, but he's starting at the third string. I see if he was the backup. But let me say this. I'm gonna ask y'all. I'm gonna let you go, D.Y. Do y'all really think they're not gonna extend Dak Prescott?
Of course they will.
Okay, so Dak ain't worried about him. So he's not gonna replace Dak. So I think he's there until the trade deadline, and they're gonna keep him moving. Think you gotta extend that. No, you can't do it. you can't do it. Because then you start over.
DY, what you think?
Go ahead, DY.
First things first, they bought him into Dallas because there was no quarterback competition to be had in Dallas. There was nobody else there to either push Dak or push the backup besides them two pushing each other. So I think that was a main reason Jerry said, let me bring a little bit more competition in here to see how I get Dak to respond. Can I get him to step up? Can I get him to show me the Dak of old? Can I get him to just go ball like he used to? At the end of the day, this man's development has become stunted, stagnant, and any other S word you could probably find to describe it. At the end of the day, he's going to probably be a career third stringer unless he gets an opportunity somewhere else. It won't be in Dallas either. And it's like I said, it's
career third string.
Yeah, it'll be a career.
I still think
he's not going to get any other opportunities.
Too young for that.
To be a starter. And guess what? Next year brings, guys?
More quarterbacks.
A super deep quarterback, talented draft class. Where's he going to go?
I'm not saying he will go anywhere and immediately be a starter, but I think he obviously got ability, right? He's not ready right now. He just ain't played enough football. But he's going to get an opportunity. Now, that's what I'm saying. He's going to move on from Dallas. Even if he got to go somewhere and he's the backup before he gets the opportunity to be a starter, he may have to go down that road before you just thrust in the starting lineup. But to say he's going to be a career third string dude, now come on now. Come on, now. He might well go to the XFL. He going to do that.
So he start one game.
If you don't never get opportunity.
And back up 15, what does that make him?
No, he's a third stringer in Dallas, right? But you can't tell me, because I think Jerry's going to move. You can't tell me there's going to be no other team in the league ever that's going to ever get this man up. He's too young for that now. Come on now.
AJ, nothing but a number, brother. And those rules don't apply when it comes to quarterbacks.
I'm kind of with DY Kev on that. I'm hoping it's not the situation. Maybe if somebody gets injured, he steps in. But I mean, like you said, there's a lot of young QBs in the league right now.
And they come. I agree with DY. They come.
And you finna have a whole nother draft class coming in. They talking like 5 or 6, and these young boys getting opportunities right away. Ain't nobody.
But they going directly into
him on the field. I mean, look at Indy. Anthony Richardson. We don't think he's ready, but they throw him on the field.
Throwing him on there.
He clearly not ready to be out there.
But you already know what they're gonna do with him. He gonna run more than he throws.
Oh, but
Anthony Richardson is a big dude. If y'all ever trip on that,
yeah, but now you risk getting them hurt.
He a big dude, man.
And I don't think he gonna run more than he throws. The dude got a cannon.
No, he can throw,
He
but
got,
he's not
he
ready
can
to
sling that thing.
He's not ready to step in and be, But think about it. Okay, going along with what y'all said, Indy had to do it. Look what they drafted him. So they like, hey man, go. They had to do it. Look what they drafted him. What number 5 or something? 3?
Yeah, he was up. Yeah.
So like y'all say, hey man, you got to go now. Jordan Love played behind Aaron Rodgers. That's different. So he sat. Now let's see what you got. That's how you traditionally want it to happen.
But here's the issue with that. If you put a guy out there too soon and he's not ready, and you don't have the right, talent around him or nothing that can kind of cover up, you could destroy his confidence. Anything. It's real risky when you know a guy's not ready to throw him out there. I think we need guys like him that are projects need at least a year or two to sit and kind of look. Mahomes sat his first year, pretty much to the last game of the year.
But he had Alex Smith. No, he had Alex Smith though. Now y'all got to think about. And I'm not saying Alex Smith was the world beater.
That he did sit though.
Oh yes, he did. Yes, he till the end of that year.
Right to the last.
But they threw him in at the end of the year, and that's how he got. Yeah, Jordan Love literally sat for a couple years.
Right. Well, that was Aaron Rodgers holding the team hostage.
Yeah, it was Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. But I get in today's world, you get a top quarterback, go. Let's see what you got. Whether you're ready or not. But I just think at some point, like even if Dallas moves him on, he gets to go to some training camp and at least try to move up to the backup. And then the backup gets hurt. He's thrown on the field. Either you're ready or not. Now, you got to work on his game, but when he going to get the reps? You're the third. You're not even getting no reps, bro.
Right. You ain't getting no reps.
So how can he improve, man? So it has to be another opportunity somewhere where at least he can go to the number 2 somewhere. I can't think of the team now, but I don't think the man going to be
this late in camp,
third string.
And right, but I mean, this year's a wash because he got to come in and learn the playbook.
Oh, he did this year. Yeah, he did.
Right.
This year.
I mean, this year is a wash, and that's another year gone. So look, guys, the Bears game just kicking off. We're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be back, and we're gonna dive into the Chicago Bears. So Sean, take us on a quick break. I think we're going to break.
How do you take care of your mind health?
For my mental health, I meditate in the mornings.
I have my dogs. They're the best.
I just find ways that help me just relax.
Finding things that make me happy, like being close to my family.
I meditate a lot and read books.
I have hobbies outside of the game. I'm able to switch off. I'm able to turn my brain off from the game of basketball.
Your mind health matters.
Your mind health matters.
Yeah, hello. I'm really not sure if this is what you all do, but I really don't have anywhere else to turn.
Hi. I don't even know why I'm calling right now. I'm sorry. My thoughts are going a mile a minute.
My kids are out of state. My My buddies from the Army are all gone now. I'm really alone.
I left the service last year. My mom just passed away a few months ago. I miss so much time with her. I keep getting calls about the bills, and I'm trying to get a job, but I feel so stuck.
Okay, ma'am. I'm glad you called.
Okay, sir. Let's stay on the line and walk through some things.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Hey, it's your boy, the Superback, Sean Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
We are back. And yes, let's give special thanks out to DJ DY Nemesis. He stopped through, blessed us with some of his sports knowledge. So me and Kev going to finish us off in this last hour of the show. And of course, like we said, we're ready to dive deep into the NFL. Starting out with the Bears. I know it's not one of Kev's favorite subjects, but since we are Chicago-based, it is what it is. He just got to take it. It is.
I'm gonna be a good soldier today, man.
Yeah. Okay. So first, let me ask you the decision last week not to play Justin Fields against the Colts. Good decision, bad decision. And Sean, you can jump in anytime too, so we can talk. You're deep into the Bears talk, but good decision, bad decision. Did he need the reps? Did he need more reps? Was it a cautious thing as far as because a lot of injuries were happening? What's your take on that? What'd you think about not playing him last week?
Who, me or Sean?
Sean, you dive into it. You're on mute.
I was okay with it. Reason being, there were a couple of cheap shots that were happening during practice. All right, you had 2 good days of work. All right, and despite what people think, the intensity is there. All right, people say it's not a real game. Like this, that's from people say that who've never played a game, never played the sport. All right, when you're playing against somebody else, it doesn't matter if it's a game, controlled scrimmage, it doesn't matter. The intensity is there. It is going to be at game level. I mean, just imagine if it's you guys are hoopers. If another school came over to practice with you guys, is it going to be half-assed, kind of like regular practice, or is it going to be intensity going to be at 10?
We going at it.
That's how it is with football. So he got a couple of good days, and then there were a couple of times I think a lot of people saw where the D lineman hit him in the leg, below the knee. All right, he was fine, nothing happened to him, but still that. And then he got hit in the back one time, and it's understood that you lay off the quarterbacks. All right, that's just given. It's understood. And for him to get hit in the back on a blitz, that's a cheap shot. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. And so I think Matt Eberflus was like, okay, let's not put him in harm's way at this particular point because of those cheap shots. They got 2 good days of work in, all right, and I'm cool with that. I'm more than okay with that. I'm more than okay with it, and I'm glad he's playing today. But last week I was cool. I was more than happy with it. I'm good. I'm good with that.
Because it was mixed reviews. It was mixed reviews of some of the Chicago media. Go ahead, Kev.
No, I was just gonna say I didn't know about the cheap shots and that kind of thing because they did. You're right. They did that two-way practice thing all week.
Joint practice.
I didn't know about the cheap shots, so I get it. One of the defensive line, somebody should have sent a message to them too. By the way,
should have.
But I didn't know about the.
You know what? Coach Eberflus probably told them like, don't do that because you can't. If you go say if you want to go after his leg just to kind of scare him, you can't determine how much force and pressure you put or on his, you know what I mean, on his ACL. So it's tough. And had one of us done that, man, then it might have kicked off a whole bunch of shit. You know what I mean? So I like the way Coach.
One of the Bears players could have retaliated, exactly. but I look at it like this. I didn't know. Like I said, I didn't know about the cheap shots. I took it to mean because a couple of teams did that last week, and I took it to mean okay, this Tuesday is D-Day, right? So you see a couple of players you might be interested in last week. This week, everybody plays. Like Aaron Rodgers is playing tonight. Yeah. Like everybody plays. So they might have got a chance to look at some people who might have been on the bubble or whatever last week, right? See what we can do. A couple of y'all that played well last week might get in the game this week with the starters. Like they could have been doing that. Because think about it. There's a lot of teams that's playing everybody this week, right? And those who's on the bubble is probably going to get in the game at some point to see what you could do with the regular Buffalo Bills lineup. Like, I mean, you know what I mean? Like they might have been looking because they know what they got with Fields. Now, if you want to say they need a little more work with Moore and let's get everybody on this, okay, I get that. But him and Moore are going to be all right. They're going to be all right.
Yeah, they're
going to be all right. I don't think that's the issue.
Yeah.
But they might have been looking at some people, man. You know that you got to think. There's less preseason games, and there's less reps for a lot. And I'm talking about special teams. There's less reps for a lot of people, man. So maybe they wanted to. Let me see what I got.
And this is the week they actually mimic a regular season.
Yes,
like game week.
So your starters
the practices and everything. So the starters get to. I think they usually play them like a half, or it's a quarter to a half, or something like that. Sean, you asked this, are the injuries a concern? Because they constantly piling up. Tevin Jenkins now out, 6 weeks. I'm cool with the line shuffle, moving Lucas Patrick to the center and Cody Whitehead at guard, but Claypool, DeMarcus Walker, free agent defensive end, we haven't seen him any in preseason. He hasn't been on the practice field that much either.
Didn't another offensive lineman get hurt?
Don't know, right?
Not just Jenkins, there was somebody else too.
Right, but they said it was just like a ankle tweak or something. Right. It's nothing big. He's gonna be fine. But Tremaine Edmonds, he just got back on the field. And these are like key players. We're talking key guys. Are you concerned about the injuries?
Yep. As long as if you're ready for week 1, okay. I'm concerned about them until I'm not. Until you're back out there. Because they don't have to at this particular point of the season, there's no injury report. All right. So they don't have to tell you shit when it comes to injuries, the severity of injuries. Okay. So they're just gonna lie. They're just gonna gloss over, oh, he's day-to-day, it's fine, he'll be back soon, whatever. It's not until obviously the game starts and the gambling starts where you need to know injury reports, and they have their mandated injury reports. So yeah, I'm concerned until I see them ready to play. I'd love to see them practice, and we got 2 weeks from the games going on now to the opening to their home opener, or the home opener and opener as well. We got 2 weeks, and as well as I do, if it's a hamstring, you can come back in 2 weeks. And he's been out for a couple weeks, so he's already been stretching it, electronic stimulation. He's getting all of that stuff done, and so I'm okay if he doesn't play now, because the last thing you want to do is re-aggravate it.
Right.
Okay. So now, say it was been out 2 weeks, so that'll give him 2 weeks from the injury to today, and 2 more weeks. That's a whole month. So with a month, he should be back. All right. So I think that they're being extra cautious, which I'm cool with. Okay. But
you paid him a lot of money, bro.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, definitely paid him a bag.
Nate Davis got to get in there too. Right. I need to see him.
Yeah, Nate Davis missed a lot of time. He's missed a lot of time.
So we're gonna turn the
I need to see more Nate. I need to see You know, and again, we might not see him till week 1, and that's going to suck. But if they're getting good reps and they're gelling in practice, okay, that's a positive. But I would have liked to have seen him today, and then 2 weeks off, you know, and go into this 2-week period before this downtime, kind of going off a high. You know what I mean? Maybe a good drive or two, you know, moving people off the ball as an offensive line, as a group, because that group's got to function as one. And you keep moving people in and out and shuffling people. It's a little different chemistry every time you move somebody out and in, or from one spot to another.
Definitely. And even though I'm okay with the shift, I kind of hate the injury happened. Everything I was reading that Jenkins was having a pretty good camp, and they would expect him to be like a staple on that line. So now let's go into, you know, some of the rumors, because, Kev, I know you want to dive in on this. The Jonathan Taylor rumor, the Bears are linked. Now we're starting to get more and more that they're linked. I don't agree with it. I don't think it should happen. I don't think Poe is going to do it.
Well, let me ask
you got to give up picks and pay the man.
Can I? All right, you got to pay him. So can I ask y'all this?
Go ahead.
Why are the Bears rumored for Jonathan Taylor? Why?
They rumored Chris Jones. They rumored everybody because they got money.
Well, because you know why? People want clicks. That's the whole thing. People want clicks. You got to understand, the Bears, you know, baseball divides us. We got North Side, we got South Side. All right, basketball unites us, football unites us. So anytime you say anything about the Bears, it's on 10. So if you put an article, my sources say that the Bears, people are going to click on it. It's clickbait. All right, it's topic. It's topic for discussion. That's the only thing. Kev, you and I both know you have a good sports mind. Lucky you do too. There's no way that he's going to go trade for a high-priced running back that he's going to pay when he got 3 good running backs at a really, really, really good price.
That you ain't paying.
That you're not paying. I'm not giving up draft capital for a running back. I'm not, because what if that dude gets hurt? What if he gets hurt and all that money? You know what I mean? It makes sense now. And I was a running back my whole career, but the devaluation of the running back is a real thing. Khalil Herbert is one of the reasons why he's proving that whole point. You can get a guy in the 4th, 5th, 6th round. You know, Isaiah Pacheco, the guy in the Chiefs, was a 7th round pick who led them in rushing last year. You don't need a 1st round pick. There's some special guys like your guy, like Saquon Barkley. Maybe Bijan Robinson is one of those guys as well. There's only a few running backs that are special, but even at that point, their value still isn't what it should be. They're not going to get paid their true value. So he's not. Ryan Poles has been very frugal. I wouldn't say frugal, very smart and efficient with his money, with the money. He's not paying a running back, bro. He's not. He's paying a defense.
The thing about Jonathan Taylor, the thing about Jonathan Taylor, you got to pay him now. Like, he's not coming to say trade me and then he wants his contract now once he gets traded, which is probably what's messing him up. Because his team's interested. Like Miami is interested. They said Miami, the Bears, and Buffalo. Those are 3 teams I heard. And then on my mind, I'm like, well, why the Bears interested? That's the first thing I say. Why the Bears? You got to pay him. The Bears ain't finna do that. Not for no running back.
Nope.
Buffalo makes all the sense in the world.
Right.
All the sense in the world. Buffalo should be all in.
Buffalo and Miami make sense. Both of them make a
Miami
ton
too.
of sense.
Miami too. But no, Mozart is good for Miami.
Yeah.
They were after Dalvin Cook pretty hard. Miami went hard for Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, but
so I'm like, no, the Bears ain't gonna do that.
The one thing about Jonathan Taylor, are you going to commit to the run game? Is Miami, and I don't think that's why I don't think he's a good fit for Miami. Just because you got an 1,800-yard runner, are you going to commit to getting him the yards? Or are you going to commit to Tua throw his you know what I'm saying? Like, how many plays you can get? Because if you hit, you could talk about having a balance, but if if you're getting the amount of plays, if you're getting big plays from the Cheetah, from Tyreek Hill, dude, those aren't plays. That's one series. Boom. Those, instead of 6, 8, 10 plays, that's one play. You got to get this guy. And Jonathan Taylor's a dude who gets lathered up. The more he gets carries, running backs are, the more he gets carries, the more effective he becomes. And if you don't give him carries on a consistent basis, he might not be as effective as he was when in Indy, because he was the only thing they had in Indy. Ain't that shit else in Indy?
He was he would be good if Derrick Henry wasn't in Tennessee. He would be great for like Tennessee. To me.
Yeah, Well, you know what? And I think Poser showed us that he's a man of his word, and he's going to build through the draft. Like he's not collecting all this draft capital to just trade it. That's why even with all the free agent money he had, he didn't go crazy. I truly believe this dude is going to build through the draft. He's going to utilize every draft pick he has. Now he may trade up or down in a draft to get somebody, but as far as trading them for these veteran guys, I don't see it. Not the Chris Joneses, so even though I would love Chris Jones. I think Chris Jones
is making $20 million right now. He wants a raise.
But I'm
the Bears ain't going to do that. They already, they'd already. I mean, like they didn't already spent that money they was going to spend on that.
Dare I dream? That's it. You know what I mean? If you could get
but real quick, I'd like to get off the Bears. The Chris Jones situation in Kansas City. You know why he said I'm not coming in to week 8? Because the other dude opposite him is suspended 6 games. So they defense without Chris Jones obviously is not that good. The dude that kind of is the best dude beyond him is suspended 6 games. So Chris Jones say, you need me. So it's like a little standoff. They like, we ain't giving you that raise, bro. He like, okay, I'll see y'all week 8 when I have to.
Yeah, but
I'm making 20, so I'm good.
I think Casey looking at it too, like we can hold off the week 8. We got Mahomes and them dudes, Kelsey and all these cats. Like, we can outscore some teams if we had to.
Well, yeah,
now you start talking playoff run.
He's waiting in week 8 because he has to go to get his year accrued. So
right.
If he doesn't, he waits, then that year, this year, which would be the final year, that rolls over to next year. So he won't get out. He'll be under that.
But see, he thought the Chiefs was gonna bite because the other dude is suspended 6 games. So now both of them gone.
Yep.
So they defense, you're gonna be able to run on Kansas City. You're gonna be able to, you know what I mean? So he took his leverage like y'all need me, and the Chiefs like, nah, we good.
That's why I said for the last month, watch week 3, Bears and Kansas City.
I think that's gonna be a great
game. They can't stop the run. If both those guys are out, he doesn't sign.
You're gonna have to score because then, and I agree with you, the Bears gonna run all over them because the Bears are a running team. Even the quarterback can run. That's gonna be the advantage the Bears have that game. However, Andy Reid probably gonna be like, let's light it up. Let's see if they can keep up.
But you can't light it up if you keep running the clock down. You shorten the game. All right, you're not going to have as many possessions because the Bears are going to have, even if they don't score or if they hit a field goal. All right, the Bears are planning for 6, 7, 10 play drives, 12 play drives. If you have those, that's time. That's a lot of time off that clock, which means Patrick Mahomes doesn't have as much time to do his magic. And I think at that particular point, it's gonna be a great game. I think week 3, and especially if he's not still out and they can, man.
I can't lie. I want to see a shootout, Sean. I want to see 38.
Well, y'all holler back at me because first of all, I'm gonna be out there, number 1. But y'all holler back at me. You know, it might be a little sticks in the air, some. You know, y'all holler back at me. I'm gonna actually be out there, and I won't be at the game, but I'll be out there. Y'all, let's stick in the air, some. Y'all, sound like he a little optimistic. Let's stick in the air, some. You know.
Well, here's what I'm saying. They have a great shot to win. I'm not saying they will. I wouldn't be surprised, but they'll make it close, and I think that's the game where they're gonna put everybody on notice. Now, whether they win the game or whether they make it really, really close, they're gonna
be able to run all over them. That's exactly what's gonna happen.
The NFL is gonna be on notice, like, oh snap. Justin and DJ,
honestly, I can see Herbert or somebody snapping. I can see that. I can see Fields taking off because you ain't gonna have Christian. You ain't gonna have neither one of them dudes, man. That they,
Yeah.
So I can see Justin Fields taking off because if y'all think Justin Fields gonna stop running, y'all crazy. He know he can do it. He's gonna do it.
Last year, no, he's not gonna.
Right. He won't run as much, but he's not gonna just stop running. No. He knows he can do it.
Right.
So here's my thing with that game. Do the Chiefs come out and say, okay, they're going to run the ball because we have 2 guys missing? They're going to bring an extra guy in the box, and if they do, how soon is Getsy going to say, okay, now they're bringing a guy in the box. Now we got to hit passes behind them. DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, Robert Tonyan, Darnell Mooney, Tate, what's his name, Chase Claypool. We're going to have to, if they're bringing in the box to stop the run, then we're gonna have to get behind them and now there's a chess match. And then if they don't,
I think it'll be an adjustment doing. I don't think they'll come right out with 8 in the box. Like they'll see what the Bears gonna do, but I think it'll be an adjustment throughout the game. You know what I mean? Like if they need to put 8 in the box, like that, I think it'll kind of go.
Yeah.
And just see, like Bears come out running over them, they got to do what they got to do.
Yeah.
But that's gonna hurt the Chiefs throughout the year, man. Like if Chris Jones is not there,
first 8 weeks.
Yeah, right. So staying on the, let's go to the defensive side of the ball. We know the Bears, the talkers have always been Justin and the offense and DJ Moore. Like it's not a lot of, and this is probably the most national media attention I've ever seen a 3-win team get ever, that the Bears have kind of gotten the shit. But no one's really talking about the defense, and the defense was historically bad last year. Like they were last in everything, damn near.
right? Can y'all stop the run?
Right. So, but I think, but you look at the overhaul of this defense, is what, 6 new starters, if I'm not mistaken, right, Sean?
Yeah,
about 6 new starters. So this defense should be better. Especially they saying the linebacker core, they got it ranked number 2 in the league as of right now. What's your ceiling for this defense? What do you see this defense, and what potential? What do you see that they can possibly just end up ranked?
It all depends on that D line. It's all dependent. If the D line can get a little bit of pressure, in commercial break I was just watching, Kyler Gordon, he was covering Stephon Diggs in the slot, and Allen got a slant on him for a first down. You talk about precise, dude. Kyler Gordon laid out, and the ball went by his hands literally like this much. I mean, you talk about beautiful, perfect pass. You're not going to have quarterbacks who are going to be able to get those passes literally inches away. It's a game of inches, but literally all the time. I think if that defensive line can get a little bit of pressure, I think this team could be a top half defense, maybe even top 10. I would say more towards the top half because that's the secondary. Those dudes are nasty, and they were making plays last year without a pass rush. So you give me Yannick Ngakoue, you give me a little bit of pass rush, I think these guys are going to have a much, much better. And then don't forget the second level with the linebackers. All right, with Tremont Edmonds, he's going to close that gap. So if you want to go deep in the middle, you got a linebacker, Tremont Edmonds, one who's with a stupid wingspan, almost a 7-foot wingspan, who can run down the middle with a tight end. And that pass is going to have to be perfect. So now you're closing the window between the linebacker and the safety. That's got to be pinpoint. So the secondary, the second and third levels are going to be okay. It's that front level. So I'd say a top half defense in the top half of the league is where they'll probably be.
Okay, so I got a question. Go
ahead, Cabo.
2 questions. Who is your Akeem Hicks run stopper? And then who is your people to sack the quarterback?
Big Billings.
Because that's what, if you can't get to the quarterback, because remember the Bears was getting ran on last year. And I kept saying all year, Demania check. Where's your Akeem Hicks? Where's your big dude like in the middle? So who's the Akeem Hicks? And who's sacking the quarterback?
Well, let me answer the second question first. Yannick Ngakoue is the dude we got. He hasn't had 8 sacks, is the lowest sack total he's had in his entire career. All right, 8 sacks. So give me 8 plus sacks, I'm okay.
Okay.
The run stopper, Billings, the new guy that they got. The dude he's a monster. As far as, and that's his whole thing. He's one of those dudes who he's going to take a double team. I don't think we have a 3 tech yet. The stud. I mean, we got Jones, but Jones. He's good, but I think that I don't think we have the stud. I don't think we don't have a stud 3 technique that we need. Now maybe Zach Pickens can develop into that in a couple of years, or Javon Dexter in a couple of years, but right now we don't have that. Now, if we decide to go, which is the Chris Jones situation, all right, do we want to do that and go get him? I don't know, but we don't have that stud 3 tech.
He ain't finna blow that money like that. He ain't gonna do that. Now maybe let's say Chris Jones was a free agent, at the beginning of this past free agency year, and the Bears hadn't spent no money yet, maybe he would have pulled it then. But he ain't finna go out and get Chris. He's already making $20 million. Dude, I'm not finna bring you in, and you already making $20 million, and you want a new contract. Look, I don't know the dude, but he ain't gonna do that.
Don't forget. Well, he's got history with Kansas City, obviously. But
yeah, I mean, I'm not saying he don't know him, but you think he's gonna bring him in already making $20 million?
Here's what he's gonna do. Well, we still got the floor and we got the money, but here's what I think he's going to do. Remember, there's no gradual cut period anymore. It's everybody gets cut at the same time on Tuesday. It's not from 90 to 70 to 50. It's 90, 95 to 53. Yeah. There can be a shitload of players, talented people who are going to be cap casualties, and the Bears did that last year. So I think if he can find a 3-tech or another nose, he'll bring him in, maybe put one of the guys on the practice squad and go from there. So there's still a lot of moves to be made, after Tuesday. Tuesday really started. That's like the last part of it is getting those veterans you can sign for a year or two, okay, or just a year while these guys get some seasoning under the belt. But there's going to be a lot of people, and I think that's the route that Ryan Poles is going to take as far as that defensive line.
And what's good about preseason, man, a lot of these guys that's going to get cut, going to get picked up by other teams. Like, everybody watches tape. Yeah. Not all of them are just going home. Like, there's going to be a lot of cats get picked up. Like, you know what? We can use that dude on special teams. Like, it's going to be that. The reason why I asked y'all that question, because y'all not going to agree with me, right? But I'm going to throw my Giants in. Y'all ain't going to agree with me, though.
Okay.
But the Giants have one of the top defenses in the league. I know y'all not going to agree with me. I dare y'all to look it up. But I can throw out Dexter Lawrence to you. I can throw out Leonard. I can throw out Thibodeau. Like, the Giants get to the quarterback. Now, we'll give up a big play. I'm not saying they all that. But they are a good defense. And that's the reason I asked, who is the cats that's, like, sacking the quarterback? Because my guy Thibodeau, rookie last year from Oregon, he had a great preseason. Now, he been at the quarterback, bro. He been getting back there. And Lawrence and Leonard really ain't been – they playing a little bit. They're going to play tonight. But I know my people that's going to get to the quarterback. That's why I asked y'all that specific question. I know my people that's going to get to the quarterback.
There's one guy, Kevo, that I've been since they signed him. I've been on a soapbox saying, "Watch this joker," and that's Terrell Lewis.
That dude from the Rams.
From the Rams, University of Alabama. He's healthy now. All right, he was a first-round pick for the Rams a couple years ago. He just wasn't healthy when he played with the Rams. Dude, this dude is explosive. This dude has had 2 sacks and 3 sacks. He had 2 sacks last week, week 1, I should say. He had 2 sacks in week 1. He had a sack, strip, forced fumble last week. The offense recovered. This is a dude who's another guy. He's very similar. He's reminding me of Mark Anderson back in 2006, where you put him in, and he might be a little more versatile than Mark Anderson, who's just been on third down. Remember, he got 10 sacks that year in 2006 for the Bears.
What position did he play?
He was a DN.
DN.
And as you talk Mark Anderson, no, Terrell Lewis is an outside linebacker, but he comes out the corner. And this dude he's a thinner, more svelte version of Khalil Mack. Like, he looks like him, just like a shrunken Khalil Mack, because he wears 52 and everything. This dude got game, man. This dude has game, and you don't start at Alabama. You don't get a first-round pick if you ain't got game. Can you transfer to the NFL? We're gonna see. He went healthy. He couldn't do it. He was hurt, so he couldn't be evaluated properly. Ryan Poles like, no. Right. We got to get this dude. He signed him, and they put him on waiver. He grabbed him. He scooped him up quick. Watch for that dude to have a big year. I say 5 to 6 sacks. 5 or 6 sacks for that dude would be a phenomenal year, because he ain't going to be playing all the time. And if you get 5 or 6 sacks from him, what's that going to do with Ngakoue? You're going to keep doubling Ngakoue and leave Terrell Lewis, one-on-one, and when he's having we'll see.
And that's what I was saying as far as with the sacks. Like, I'm cool with it being by committee. If you can get 5 or 6 sacks from 3-4 different people. You know what I mean? I'm okay with that too. I don't see anybody, even Yannick, I don't see him being no 15, 18 sack guy, especially when most of his career has been, he's in that 9 range. Oh, first down. Nice play. Okay. Bears driving, Buffalo Bills up 7-0.
7-0. They just score. All right.
Yeah,
but you're not worried about the sacks though, Lucky. I'm not. Everyone looks at the stat. It's not about the sacks. It's about the pressure.
The pressure.
Get him off his spot. You're able to get off the field on 3rd down because he got to move because he felt pressure. He's got to step up, and all of a sudden throw the ball out of bounds, make a bad pass, throw the ball too soon. Okay, pass breakup. All right, yeah, and picks, of course. Like, how many picks are we going to get? I just need pressure, and I really want, the best thing I want is pressure up the middle. All right, give me pressure up the middle, because quarterbacks, that is the spot that they hate pressure the most, because they can't step up and move left to right. They can't follow through on some of their throws. Man, how many times have we seen a quarterback injure his hand hitting the helmet of his offensive lineman? Right, or defensive lineman reaching over, and his hand hits the quarterback's hand, breaks the fingers. They hate pressure up the middle. That's what the Bears need to do. Javon Dexter is one of those dudes who can be a pocket collapser. He's just got to get more technique. We've seen him do a lot of good things, especially in the one-on-ones, in the joint practices. He just wasn't asked to do that in college. He's got to get more consistent. Zach Pickens.
The other kid Pickens is having a good camp.
Got a chip on his shoulder, bro, because he had multiple coaches and never had the same system or the same coach. He's fired up, man. These guys are going to take time, but if we can pressure just collapse the pocket from the inside, I'm okay. I am good with that. And then that secondary, those dudes are dogs. Those dudes are dogs, and they're going to make a lot of plays. And I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it.
Honestly, I think Tariq Stevenson is probably the one I'm the most excited to watch. Like that kid looks like he can. Yeah, like he has potential to be a number 1 cornerback at some point in the NFL. Not quite yet, but if things don't pan out with Jalen Johnson, his contract extension, and then what's the other kid, the other rookie from Minnesota, So if it don't work out with Jalen, I think you got a chance to have a pretty good. Oh, okay.
From what I see, man, the Bears got like a 2-3 year window that. He spent money on free agency. You bring in DJ Moore that's already under contract. Herb and them are young. You ain't got to pay them yet. And now you keep acquiring talent throughout like you said, through the draft. This is how you roll. So you're gonna go through the draft. So the Bears, you're really looking at, and Justin Fields can come into his own before it's time to pay him. He come into his own before it's time to pay him. You stockpiling talent, young talent. You might get a vet here and there. You got to do that, man. You can't have a completely young team, but you got to do that here and there. So this is I don't look, man, and I'm not hating, dog. I'm serious. You don't go from 3-12 or 3 and whatever to winning the division. Like it doesn't happen that way.
It happens every year though. Worst the first happens every year.
Not no 3-win team, dog.
Yeah, worst the first happens every year. You gotta kind of gradually build. And the way they're doing it is they have money. They still got money left over going into next year. Think about it. They got money going into next year. They draft the dudes they're paying. Edmonds, them, they young. They're not. You ain't went out and got a bunch of old head free agencies. They're young.
Yep.
So you draft more talent next year. You might pick up another couple free agents next year. Some of these contracts gone. Like you build it. And in the next 2-3 years, now, okay, Bears got talent. They didn't groom together. They didn't play together. And now you what they call it, spark, you bust, you whatever. I don't know what they call it.
Well, let me say this too.
And now you pop. But to think what he did this free agency is going to turn out to be this year.
We don't know yet.
Come on, man. It don't work that way.
I watched Carolina all preseason.
Okay.
They not going to be that good, man. Bryce Young he may be about a year or 2 away. That pick is going to be high. I think Carolina's going to really be down near the bottom of the league, so that's going to be a high pick. So you're talking about you know, what he was able to turn that number one pick from this past year into, especially if, when everybody gonna be clamoring for Caleb Williams out of USC, the QB. Just think the haul you'll be able to get for that pick. You know, if it's as high as I'm thinking it's going to be. I just watched
pick.
Yeah, because I mean, just watching Bryce Young, he doesn't look comfortable yet. Like it's going to take.
Well, not yet. I mean, everything is faster now. These big dudes can move.
Yeah, I don't. But I really don't think that. Right, I don't think that team. I don't think that team's going to be very good. But quick update: Bears just kicked the field goal. Justin Fields is out of the game.
Doing the screenplay, and he took him out. Tyson Badges, and
Tyson
he took him out.
Well, what you're saying though, Kev, I would agree with you to a certain point about the difficulty of worst to first. But one, it happens every year. But two, and I hear your point about only 3 wins. But let's not forget that 3 wins was because they gutted the defense. That wasn't a team that was intact. That wasn't a team that had everybody the whole year. Now, if that was a team that had everybody the whole year, from Roquan Smith to all the defensive linemen that they let go and then that's a different story. Then I'm like, yeah, because if you keep those guys, they literally gut that whole team, which is why they only had 3 wins. And we've talked about it before. How many of those games did Justin Fields almost win by himself? All right, how many times did a receiver drop the ball? All right, we've gone through it. The Darnell Mooney double clutch on the goal line against Washington. The fumble by Amir Smith-Merced against the Vikings. All right, the missed field goal against the Dolphins. All these things. There's another 3 to 5 wins that the Bears had a chance to get.
They play some good teams tough though. They play some.
They played a lot of teams tough.
Philly, they play some good teams.
They played them really well, which is why I don't have a problem saying they're going to compete for the division. I don't have a problem saying that at all. I'm not saying they're going to win it. They're definitely going to compete with for that divisional title. In a lot of different factors for this year, yeah. But I mean, you got to see nobody. Green Bay is Jordan Love going to be? Is he going to have connection with Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs? I don't know. All right, they're going to run the ball. Is he going to be?
Green Bay is not going to all of a sudden be in the cellar, y'all. They're not.
I think the North going to be a lot tougher than people think. The whole NFC North.
I'm saying they're going to be
still got talent up there, man.
They're going to continue to run the ball. They got a great run game, and that's going to chew up a lot of clock. What about the Vikings? Kirk Cousins. I know Dalvin Cook is gone, but you still got that guy Justin Jefferson, who's not too bad. So do you double team him? And who else? What other guys?
Not too bad.
Not too bad. He's pretty good. I'll keep him around.
And they got another rookie. They got a rookie wide receiver over there too in Minnesota that's balling.
And then you got Detroit. I know Detroit's going to Detroit themselves, but at some point, they're with this new coach and the culture, they're going to start winning. They're going to. I mean, you're missing guys in the beginning because of the gambling, so that's going to put them behind the 8 ball. But can they? What do they win? 8 out of their last 10 games.
Yeah, they were hot.
And now
I know it's rankings. I know it's preseason, but they're predicted to win the North. Detroit is now.
Well, it depends on what you look. It's Detroit and Minnesota. Those two. I haven't seen a lot of Green Bay or Chicago predicted to win.
I saw Detroit.
I've seen a lot of Minnesota and less Detroit, but those two I've seen, not the other two.
Okay, so that's making my point. If Minnesota and Detroit are predicted to win the North, and people then sat back and watched everything the Bears did, but they didn't name the Bears. That's not to say the Bears are not going to be better, because obviously they will.
A few have,
but I can't see them just jumping up winning the division. Like, I can't do that. Now in the next 2-3 years, you stockpile some more talent. You got these guys you just drafted and went out and got free agency. They jailed the next 2-3 years. Yeah, I can see them coming the same way Detroit did. We seen Detroit coming a couple years back, or at least a year back. I'm saying it has to build. That's all I'm saying, bro. I'm not saying they're not going to be better. Obviously, they're going to be better. But that has to build. Like, Detroit been coming to get to this point. They didn't jump up 1 year last year and did it. They we saw it. But like you said, they always Detroit. And they'll probably Detroit this year. But they're good, man. And that's been building.
I mean, I'm not gonna say Detroit's gonna. I'm not looking.
That's all I'm saying.
I don't think Detroit's gonna be Detroit. I think the North is gonna be tough. I think the NFC North is gonna be a tough.
I think they're gonna be. Honestly, the NFC North. I think everybody gonna be beating each other.
Oh, that's a horrible call right there. But,
I really do.
No, you're right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Because like I said, I don't think the Packers are going to be as bad as people think. Like people like Jordan Love has been in that system for 3 years. He knows the system. I think the Packers head coach, he's smart enough to kind of let him be more of a game manager. Don't expect him to come out and be Aaron Rodgers like right away. They got a hell of a running game, and Dylan.
I got them two running backs, right?
Dylan and what's the other?
Dylan and Aaron Jones. So
Aaron Jones.
We're not going to let you throw the ball and throw the game away, sir. We'll just run the ball.
Now the question with Green Bay is their defense. The question is their defense. But I really think that where the Bears go this year is still going to fall on Justin Fields. Like the bigger leap he takes, the better chance. Like if he turns out and takes a leap and he's the best quarterback in the division this year, then I think it's possible they could win. I've said if, Kevin. I ain't saying he is. But I'm saying if Justin really comes out and I think all this defense has to do is be in the middle. They don't have to be top 10, top 5. Because I think this offense is going to score a lot of points. This offense is going to put up points.
Well, yeah, obviously they'd be better on the offense.
Two example of guys of the team concept. Because if the defense can get you short fields, defense can get you turnovers, defense can get you, great scoring opportunities, well, we're going to score. All right. And vice versa. So what that does is that puts the defense back in a very favorable position because now you're up 7-0. Or now you're up 14-0 or 21-7. You put that score because the defense set it up. Now they can go pin their ears back and go get the QB because you're down 21-7. Depending on what point of the game is, you ain't running the ball that much. You ain't running the ball that much. You got to get back in the game. Right. And that's where that secondary comes in. The reason I was also was the improvement. So when you talk about, all right, and drafting good players, it takes a while, a year or two, for those players to find themselves, find their footing. What the Bears did, their secondary was the strongest part of their team last year. They added to it in Tyreek Stevenson. The youngsters, Kyler Gordon and Jaquan Brisker, they're sophomores now. They're not bright, wide-eyed and deer in headlights anymore. They're comfortable. That was the secondary.
Okay.
The second level, you're not drafting studs who you're hoping turn out. You sign players who are good players in the NFL. So that immediately jumps the talent of that up. And then you add the edge rusher and you add back way. Okay, and that's where my issue comes. So if we can collapse, my biggest thing was if you can collapse the pocket, because the Ngakwe is going to get around the corner. He's going to get around the corner. Now, if they push him and keep him going, cool. Can that quarterback step up? If he cannot, that's where the problems come in. Because, as I said, that second level is not young studs that you're hoping can develop. These are proven talents in the NFL. So now you got a proven talent in the second level. You got proven talent in the third level. Now you just and one proven talent on the edge. Can we get up the middle? Can we collapse? If we can, then this defense is going to be a lot higher. It's going to cause this offense to have a lot more scoring opportunities because of the turnovers, because of the field position, the takeaways, that whole thing. So we're going to see.
So real quick, we got about 15 minutes left. The big story this week has been the backup quarterback. I ain't never seen this much focus on a backup quarterback. Is it Tyler Bagent? Am I saying it right?
Tyson Bagent.
Tyson Bagent. Big story. Big kid, come out, looks the part. I didn't get to see the whole game last week. I did watch a few of his highlights. He does look the part. And now they're talking possibly, and he came in second quarter. It wasn't Richardson. It wasn't what's the other one? The other
Simeon, PJ Walker.
Yeah, right. This kid looks like he stepped up to the number 2, and they've been saying his story. Like he has a pretty a very interesting story that he should have been drafted a lot higher. I mean, this guy was a one-man show over where he was, and I didn't know he was that athletic. I didn't know he was that big. It's a big.
Yeah, I didn't either. He's 6'3". He's tall as Fields.
Yeah. He's a big guy. So give me your thoughts on that, Sean. How important is that? Because Justin Fields being a mobile quarterback, it could be possible he gets nicked up and
Shit, being a quarterback, you got to be mobile. Just being a quarterback, you get nicked up. But I think it's great because now you got a guy that you can develop. Now you got a guy who's athletic. He can throw. He set the two most yard career passing yards. He set the all collegiate level for most passing touchdowns. 159. So this guy can throw the ball. And if you watch him, this dude is smooth. This dude's been trained to be a quarterback. And if you notice, here's the biggest thing that I know. People talk about this. If you go after a 1AA or 2 guy, or Division III guy, do they dominate? Well, I think we can officially say he dominated with all the yards he threw for. He set the national college record for most passing touchdowns. I can officially say he's dominated. What you want to see is when he gets to that next level, is the speed too much for him?
Right.
He does not seem like a deer in headlights. He
looks real comfortable in that pocket.
Real comfortable, man. And you saw some of the throws. Some of the throws he doesn't even step in, like he's back there, and he flicks his hips and gets a lot of zip on that ball. So you talk about a quick release. This is a guy that you want to keep, because if Justin Fields does go down, all right, this is the NFL. Anybody can go down any play. You got a guy who knows how to throw the ball. There's been so many situations he hasn't been in. There can't be one situation that he's never been in. It just hasn't been at this level. Would you throw for 12,000 yards or something like that? No.
Yeah, it was something ridiculous. It was a crazy number.
Yeah. It's insane. So he's been in every situation. So he's got to get acclimated to the speed, to the receivers, to the windows being a lot smaller, and he'll be a solid backup. I'm not putting him in Canton. I'm not putting him as an all-pro. I'm putting him as a solid backup and see where he goes from there.
Yeah. I mean, even just a little smart play just did right here. Just, take that check down. It's little things like that. Like this kid is he's like a natural born QB. Like
dude, he had like 500. No, how many he threw for? I think he had 400.
DJ Warren playing
every year.
They played earlier. They all out now. They
took the starters out already.
Yeah, they only played a quarter. They didn't really.
I thought they was gonna give them a half.
No, they went 1 quarter. It's all the backups.
And they were talking like the starters gonna play the half.
No, Buffalo did too. Buffalo only played theirs a quarter. Oh, get it out of there.
Yeah, so he had 17,000 passing yards in college.
For what school?
It's called Shepherd. It's a Division II school.
Yeah.
And he had 159 touchdowns and only 48 picks. So literally 3-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. He averaged over 300 yards per game in each of his 4 years starting. So you think about it, man.
He was down there. Don Corey, Eric Corrier.
Yeah, literally.
Let it ride.
Man,
he the dude.
I'm telling you, I'm excited to see what he can do. I love the fact that a moment isn't too big for him. I love it. And
it's finally time for this organization to develop young players. Like instead of just, always just going out and try to buy your way and get the big name free agents. I want to see Dominique Robinson this year. I want to see how he's developing as a defensive end. He's going to be a rotational guy, but he's a developmental guy too. But I just want to see the development. And I think that's Eberflus's strength. One of his specialties is he develops young guys. He definitely develops.
I'm making my point, man. That's what I said earlier.
But they got
like
some staples in
the team. You got some young cats. You got some Edmonds and them. They still young. You paid them. Cool. Go get some more talent next year. Steal a free agency or two. And then build it. The reason I'm saying it, and I'm not saying y'all two did it. There's a lot of Bears fans walking around here thinking that this year they're going to win a division. They're going to vie in the playoffs this year. And I said, no. Of course they're going to be better. Of course. But you got to I guarantee you Poe's draft and the way he wants to do things as far as free agency is a 2 to 3 year period. He didn't go all in this year. That's why he still got money left. This is a gradual. We're gonna take over the North, not 1 year. This is a gradual. We're gonna build this thing. We're gonna and then in the next 2-3 years we're gonna pop. I agree with that.
But this is what usually happens, Kev, with that and with the worst to first. Strength of schedule. You get high draft picks.
Oh, you got an easy schedule.
Right. You get high draft
Bears
picks.
got an easy schedule.
Right. Then you're playing a last place schedule. Remember the Eagles last year? The Eagles played a last place schedule last year. That they didn't play a tough schedule, and they were able to take that leap with Jalen Hurts. Nobody expecting to be as good as they were. No. Like I think people were probably talking about Philly going into last year, the same way a lot of us are talking about the Bears going into this year, but they took off. We thought maybe Philly was another year away. No one's expecting Hurts to make that type of jump.
No, ain't nobody see that. 12, 13, and ain't nobody see that.
That's what I'm saying. So you talking like it's not possible. That's my thing. You talking like it can't happen.
But no. Look at their squad they had. They had no shorties. They had a bunch of vets.
They went out, got AJ Brown.
Right.
Well, their defense was.
They had them 2 killer corners. Yeah. They still had that defense. That defensive end, like they had a squad last year. And they was just throwing. They was just going out getting people every week.
They had a good.
They
draft.
was just throwing it together.
They had a hell of a draft that year. I mean, going into last year. That's what I'm saying. So I'm just saying
the one thing that made the difference, though, Lucky and Kev, was that offensive line. They had a top 3.
That offensive line,
easily top 5, but top 3 offensive line. And right now, that's where we're not. But we got a guy. We got the ultimate neutralizer as well, because if shit breaks down, he'll make a house call at any point against anybody.
Yeah,
and he's so. And I think that's the most important thing. Our offensive line is nowhere near as good as Philly's is. But man, the ultimate equalizer, man, that alone could kill you. That alone is demoralizing at times when you got receivers covered, it's 3rd and 8, and all of a sudden he breaks for 12, 15, 20 or a house call. Like shit. Like,
he's still gonna do it.
Nobody.
He's still gonna do it.
Oh, he's gonna do it, just not as much.
Right.
You got boy DJ Moore. This is road dog now, boy. They tight for the old hood now, boy. I'm telling you.
And how hard it's gonna be to defend that when you can't. You're not gonna. If you put 8 in the box, DJ Moore can win any 1-on-1. You try to keep a spy in. Claypool with his size and all this. Like these guys can. Like this offense can be.
Well,
good. I'm not taking nothing off the table with the Bears. I wouldn't be surprised if they won 6-7 games. I wouldn't be surprised if they won 10-11 games. I wouldn't. Hey,
this just came across the wire right now. Travis Gibson, the defensive end, requests a trade. Bears defensive end has received permission from the team to find a trade partner. Travis Gibson.
So he's be cutting next.
He's writing on the wall. Yeah, he's writing on the wall. He's like,
he's out.
Terrell Lewis is getting more of that tick. He's making more plays.
Yeah.
Okay.
The man say trade me, it's business.
Yeah,
and
he knows about that.
I'm gonna let it be known while the game is going on.
That's when he put it. And actually, what we talked about earlier with Chris Jones too is actually something came across from Sports Mockery. I don't know how many people follow that. Some of the things are accurate. They say Ryan Poles has put a call in to the Chiefs.
Oh, I'm sure he has.
He has.
He has.
He probably. Okay, I can see that. He probably got a relationship with the Chiefs. He can call the Chiefs anytime he wants. I get it. But are you gonna bring this dude in already making $20 million?
Because they say he wants
right, and he wants an extension.
They say
Chiefs won't give it to him.
They say he wants $30 million.
He wants 30. Okay.
30. Yep.
Ryan Poles, you gonna do that?
You ain't doing $30 million. Nope, not at his age.
He ain't gonna do $30 million.
If it was Deron Payne, if it was a younger cat,
that's what I'm saying.
You gotta strongly consider.
That's what I'm saying. He's not gonna do that. I want my extent. And the man said, I'm willing to be fined. I'm good to week 8.
Yeah.
Man said you can fire me. I'd see y'all week 8.
All right, so I'm pretty sure we're gonna have a lot more Bears to talk about. Season 8, game 1 coming up. We're gonna be here every week talking about it. Sean, thank you for jumping in and talking some Bears with us in our last hour of the show. But we're gonna start wrapping it up. Gonna get ready to wrap it up, man. Before we do that, I don't know how many wrestling fans we have, but I do want to say rest in peace to Bray Wyatt, 36 years old. All of a sudden passing, no one was expecting it. We actually were waiting for him to come back to the WWE, but it was a surprising and tragic loss. So rest in peace, man. He had 2 young daughters. Prayers goes out to his family. So we're gonna put some smoke in there for Bray Wyatt for all our wrestling fans.
And Terry Funk for the old head. And Terry Funk for the old heads.
There you go.
Yeah, Terry Funk, a legend. So, Kev, let's start giving our parting shots.
Man, good to be back, man. Appreciate everybody tuning in, man. We short little trip to Milwaukee last week. Shout out to Giannis. Nah, man, we got we back, man. Talking a little sports, it's football season, y'all. You know that I'm a basketball guy, but football is my second sport, man. So good to be able to talk it, man. It's gonna be a lot of action, a lot of stuff coming up. Y'all know we hyped. Real quick, next weekend, it's September 3rd. It's Labor Day weekend. I want y'all to come out. We got a One Smoke, One Love picnic. We can put the details up. Come on out. It's gonna be a good time. SmokeFellas, y'all know how we do. If y'all ever been to anything, y'all know that. Come out at us, man. Thank y'all for tuning in for the ride, though. Appreciate it.
Sean, any parting shots?
Great show, man. Bears are playing. I'm excited for the season start. High school football started yesterday. College football has a soft opening this weekend. Football season's here, man. So we don't have to go another week until between Championship Sunday and Super Bowl without
anywhere. Yeah.
So right. we're in good times, people. Good times.
We are definitely in heaven. Hey, and make sure you catch Sean and Maya morning show throughout the week, along with other great shows. What's Up, Cuz? The other show, some other shows, Sean, on sports.
Second City Sports is on Mondays and Fridays. Sean and Maya is Monday, Wednesday, Friday. What's Up, Cuz is every Monday. So definitely check out all of them on our Roku channel. We have a mobile app you can check out. You can download it and watch us on there. But download us on the Roku channel. You have a Roku TV in the house, download the Sports Zone Chicago tile. You can watch us live. I mean, we're live there right now. So if you're we're on the big screen right now, so do us that favor. And you can catch Sports Zone Chicago in anywhere you want. Facebook, YouTube, go to our YouTube channel like that. So we're everywhere. We are everywhere.
Definitely subscribe. Definitely subscribe. And like Kev said, September 3rd, One Smoke, One Love picnic, our Labor Day. It's going to be an annual thing. This is our first one. It's going to be a great time. We're out on Joel Road. You can always contact one of us for more information. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, SmokeFellas. We're pretty easy to find. And September 10th, Game 1, Bears versus Packers. If y'all have been to any of our game events, great time. Cash prizes, all type of raffles. I mean, it's a lot going on. Great food, great time. It's always a ball when you hang out with the SmokeFellas, especially football season. But September 10th, 3:25 kickoff. And we may surprise y'all with a little tailgating that day. We may get in a little early and get our tailgate on. So come join us. And we out next week. You have Mr. SmokeFella back. I think Angry Man's back, so we'll be full staff next week. All right, thank y'all for tuning in. Humidor Sports and Cigars. We'll see you guys next Saturday, 11 o'clock. Same bat time, same bat channel. Sean, take us out.